What is up, boys and girls? We are back with another Thursday night breakdown for NFL DFS. We got a nice one. We got the Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's a real fun contest to get into. There are some injury aspects we are going to touch on and talk about all the pivots we possibly can to see who can bring home the big time money. Now, let's dig into it. I'm your host, Tyler Weeman at FlatTyler83. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, all the props, all the DFS. You get it all, one low price. So come join us. Let's go. Let's get into this slate. All right. 50-point total. 3-point spread. 49ers are favored. I do want to get over and actually start and talk about the injury situations for these two teams right now. Demarcus Robinson could potentially miss. Him and Jordan Whittingham are both questionable, so that definitely makes it interesting on the Rams side. You could get Whittington being wide receiver 3. You could get Atwell being wide receiver 3, but it does change the punt type players on the Rams a little bit. And then on the 49ers side, there's two big things. Trent Williams is out, so that offensive line does get hurt a little bit for the 49ers. But the other thing is that Isaac Guerrero is questionable. He hurt his foot last game, did not come back. We're really not sure what's going to go on with him yet. But there's a lot of different factors if he is out, and we'll try and touch on that all when we get into running backs. But for now, let's dig into the game. Let's go position by position as we always do. We got Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford, two absolute studs at their position. Two guys that are great at throwing that football. Stafford got it done versus a super tough Buffalo team last week. So could he go into 49ers and get it done? Absolutely. It is on the road, though, which definitely makes it a little bit hard. But Stafford is good enough to get it done versus anybody. And it's all about that game plan they draw up. And Sean McVay and primetime games and big games is generally pretty good. Now, if we look at the matchup between the Rams and the 49ers the last few years, for the most part, the San Francisco 49ers have been able to hold Stafford in check. So it is a little bit of a worry situation there, but I still don't mind Stafford. Think he's in a decent spot. I also got to say that I like Purdy. I do probably like Purdy more than Stafford. The reason being is that I am concerned with Guerrero not playing. And if Guerrero does not play, I think what happens for the 49ers is they throw the ball more. I think they will use the passing game as an extension of the running game. And when I say that, I expect short passes and them trying to get yak out of it. So high percentage pass plays to fill that void of no running game is kind of what I expect if Guerrero is out. So I think Purdy has some very interesting upside here. We need to wait until, the injury news tomorrow to really know. It is Wednesday afternoon when I'm filming this, so things may change there, but Trent Williams is out and definitely is a big hurt to that offensive line. But he was out last game, and the Bears got Purdy'd for sure. 325 yards and 2 tutties. He can absolutely do that against the Rams. Now, getting over to the old running back spot, we obviously know Kyren Williams is an absolute beast, and I love this spot for him. I'm betting the over on his rushing yards. If you paid attention to our Thursday night prop show, that is my favorite prop in this game, and I think Kyren's set out to have a good one. And if Kyren gets it going, one of those receivers generally do as well. So Puka or Kupp, I think, are interesting with Kyren, but I think Kyren's going to have his way. He has huge workload. He has multiple touchdown upside. He can absolutely be used in captain spots, and I probably will a little bit. Then you got Blake Corum look, he's getting a little work. He's got 8 carries the last 2 weeks, but he's really just spelling Kyren a little bit. It's not like he's getting the full series himself. He's not getting red zone touches. You would need, Kyren to pull himself at the 5 or at the 3, something like that, and him get a red zone touch to get in the end zone at this point. Now, can it happen? Absolutely. Is it likely? No. Corum isn't really in my player pool. I'll have a little bit of him just as a punt, but he's not really going to make my player pool. On the 49ers side, we got a lot of talk about here. So if Guerendo plays, absolutely smash play, love it. He has done very, very well every time he's got an opportunity this year, and you saw it last week. 15 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 50 yards. He was a beast, and I think he can do that again against the Rams team that's given up 125.5 rushing yards per game over the last 4 to go along with 0.8 touchdowns and 36 yards receiving. So I think Guerendo is in a great spot if he plays. Now, if he does not, I would expect the 49ers to pull somebody up. Keyshawn Vaughn is probably who they pull up. And I do not think that it will just be Patrick Taylor's show. He's been in the league for like 4 years now. His career high carry game total is 11. I just don't think he's going to get very much volume. He is more of a special teams guy and can come in here and there, when he needs to spell guys, but I don't think his talent level is elite. And I don't think the 49ers are just going to put it on his back. So I don't mind playing some Taylor because he's going to be cheap. He's, $7,400. He's not that cheap. But I have big time worries about what his involvement really will be. He will have some involvement. He's going to be involved in the passing game a little bit. He'll get some rushes, but I wouldn't expect him to get, 15, 20 carries, something like that. I would bet whoever they bring up gets some carries as well. And I think you need to consider that guy as well. Likely Keyshawn Vaughn, but who knows? And then also, you got to think about Juszczyk as a punt. Juszczyk gets used every single time this 49ers team starts getting injuries. He is useful. He can carry the ball out of the backfield. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. We saw him have this game where he got 3 receptions for 10 yards and then also 1 carry for 6 yards and a tutty. He has these type of games like once every year, twice every year, and he can win people GPPs, especially these, the giant ones. And in a situation where the 49ers, who love to run the ball, love to, get their guys in space, I like Juszczyk a little bit when they don't think they can fully trust Patrick Taylor and Keyshawn Vaughn if those are the guys. So if Guerendo's, banged up and not going, I think Juszczyk is absolutely in your player pool and is going to go to low owned. He has upside at his price for only $2K. Very much so can get in the end zone and do some different stuff to, take you to the promised land and win some GPPs. Now, we're getting over to the wide receiver side. Obviously, we got Puka. We got Cooper Kupp. Those are the premier wide receivers in this game. And then you have Juwan Jennings and Deebo Samuel. I do think Deebo Samuel is going to be scripted into this game a little bit more, especially if Guerendo is out. They're going to use him a little bit running the ball. They're also probably going to design some short passing plays for him to get him the ball and try and get him in some space to be used as an extension of that run game. So I think Deebo definitely has a spot in the game plan, and he is going to be absolutely used a fair bit. Now we get over to Juwan Jennings. I'm a big fan of Jennings. I took him a ton in best ball over the offseason, and he's shown up. He's been great and I think he is here to stay. He is kind of just took that Brandon Ayuk role, but it's a little different because he's not as big play threat, but he is consistent. He knows his spots, and he knows how to get the ball, and they're going to keep using him downfield. He is absolutely in play in this game, and I like his spot. While I think Debo could be used a lot more around the line of scrimmage, Juwan Jennings is still going to get down the field and have some upside here. And there's obviously multiple touchdown upside, as he's done it twice this year, and then had another game where he had 10 receptions for 91 and a tutty. So I like Juwan Jennings as well. Do not sell him short, and make sure you get some of him. Pearsall did have a little less work than he's had in previous weeks. However, it's another spot without Garendo. I could see them trying to get Pearsall the ball, in some space. And then Chris Connolly had the biggest snap share he's seen since like week 3. So something to watch. His snap share could be increasing for some reason there. So that's at least as of note. And then Whittington and Robinson are both questionable. If one or both are out, obviously it makes Tyler Johnson and Tutu Atwell very interesting. Now, they like DeMarcus Robinson so much because he's a great blocker and does what he needs to do. If he is out, I really don't know who they're going to use as the third wide receiver. It could be Tyler Johnson over Tutu Atwell, even though Tutu Atwell is more explosive and the better downfield threat. I think it still could be Tyler Johnson because of that type of blocking role, but I really have no idea exactly who it'll be. But tomorrow we need to watch that ownership, and if one gets way higher than the other guy after DeMarcus is out, if DeMarcus is out, then you can possibly make a play there. But I would say Johnson, Whittingham, Robinson, Atwell, all of them have some sort of value in this game, but really is going to be dependent on that news of Robinson/Whittingham, what happens there. Now, getting into the tight end spot. So Kobe Parkinson is still there. Tyler Higbee is out. So it's Parkinson and Davis Allen. Really don't move the needle much. If they don't get a touchdown, they're not going to be optimal. And then you got George Kittle, who's just an absolute beast and gets it done game in and game out. The guy just scored 24 without a touchdown, 6 receptions for 151. He has 800 yards and 8 touchdowns this season, and we're only through 14 weeks. And he's missed 2 games. What just an absolute beast. I think you got to love Kittle once again in this spot. Now, Rams have been decent. They've been solid versus tight end, but Kittle is just something else. The other thing to mention is he hasn't really done much versus the Rams in his career. So, or he hasn't since 2020, that is. So that hurts his outlook a little bit, but hey, if Garendo's out, they need their guys to get open, and they need to get their playmakers the ball, and Kittle is absolutely one of their best playmakers, so he needs to be in your lineups. All right, defensive side, we got 49ers, we got Rams. 49ers have got ran over lately. They played decent defensive-wise last week, got you 12, had 6 sacks. The big thing here is we got to watch Nick Bosa. Bosa's been out the last 2 games, or maybe 3. Don't remember off the top of my head, but if he is in, that absolutely makes that 49ers D much better. But all in all, I don't really love either of these defenses in this spot. Now, the one thing you have to bring up is that most of the time, let me go to somebody better here. Let's go to... No, Kyron's only played for a couple of years. Let's go Debo. So, most of the time these guys have played 20 to 21, 30 to 23, 24 to 9. Most of the time it's a close game when it's the Rams versus the 49ers. Mid-20 scores, something like that. And neither of these defenses are really going to get going in that situation outside of having that pick six. The one thing to note is both teams are going to throw the ball a lot, especially if Garendo's out and the 49ers really don't have an RB to rely on. So with that aspect, the Rams defense becomes a little more interesting, just hoping for the odd pick six. But all in all, I don't really love either defense for tomorrow night's game. And then kicker, both of them can get it done. Both defenses are good enough at bending but not breaking. That is kind of the key to the 49ers D, is that they bend and don't break. And so it helps Josh Carty get it going in the kicking game a little bit more. I do probably prefer the Rams kicker over Jake Moody, just because I do think the Rams offense could struggle a little bit more when it comes down to the red zone. But all in all, it's a 50-point game total. Both kickers got to be in play. The chance for that 12, 15-point game is actually absolutely there for a kicker. So that will do it for us today. Good luck. I'm going to have the Week 15 main slate DFS out tomorrow, actually. I'm going to be out on Friday, so I got to get that done early. You guys have a good one. Good luck this week, and let's win some money. Peace!